business is just if a door shuts in your face, you just got to kick it open.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I run my
Yeah.
business, and that's the same in property, right? You
Yeah.
getting
No.
declined from mortgages, things happening, going wrong, and you just need to just keep going, and you need to be relentless. That's part of being an entrepreneur. So yeah,
Yeah. No.
we
Absolutely.
had an event in London. We had 500 people booked on. It was all fine, and then London
Wow.
went into tier 4. So then we moved it to Slough, but we didn't announce it because we thought Slough could, and then Slough did,
Right.
and we were like, yes, thank God we didn't announce it. And then we announced Southampton, and then the day prior to the event, then Southampton Council said no. So it was crazy, but it's all fun.
Wow. I think to be honest with you, with everything at the moment, everything's up in the air. So people are having to move, adjust, and just see how it goes. You've just got to. You're absolutely right. You've just got to carry on. I mean, from our own perspective at the moment, obviously we've never spoken before, but we've from our business side of things, it is so chop and churn because you've got lenders that are all over the place at the moment. You've got solicitors and the legal professional, they're all over the place because all these stamp duty holidays, there's so much pressure and down valuations are happening. There's all sorts of problems within the
Yeah.
clock, within the chain. I had a down valuation today. So we had a down valuation by £70,000 on a property. It was a property in London. So it was a huge. So that basically knocks on the chain, and then other people can't buy. And if it's a residential deal, it's an absolute nightmare. So the property market, I don't know. I mean, obviously you deal with a lot of people that are investing in properties and getting in and getting out. But at the moment, what you've seen is, I mean, I've got some lenders at the moment that are behind by 30, 40 days. So if you say you find the property today and you say, Payam, I'm all good to go. My offer's been accepted. Can we put the application in? In theory, that application with some lenders is going to be looked at in 40 days' time.
Yeah, no, that's just not acceptable. I mean,
Exactly. And
absolutely.
then what you've got is you've got that process, so that whatever the mortgage application, depending on the lender and so forth. And then once the case gets offered, so the clients are chopping at the bit saying, right, we're ready, we've got our offer now, thank you. And then the solicitors, the local authority searches and the solicitors are, they've got backlogs of hundreds and thousands of cases right now. So it'll be interesting, actually. I want to get your view on what do you think the stamp duty holiday, what do you think about that? Do you think they're going to extend it, or do you think the government's just going to cut it off where it is?
Yeah, well, last time I checked a few hours ago, I think there's now 28,000 signatures trying to extend it from Jonathan Steele's
Yeah.
campaign. Do I think they're going to extend it? I guess it depends on partly. Like, they have to extend, like, for instance, furlough. They extended furlough because we continued being in lockdown, so they felt like they had no choice. So
Yeah.
I think it depends on how the restrictions within lockdown and everything are. I think if we're still locked down and they're worried that the housing market is gonna dry up, they're clearly desperate to continue. Continue keeping the economy within the housing sector going. So I think that they probably will extend it if the COVID situation doesn't get any better. Although I was very surprised to hear yesterday, I heard that Wales have actually upped stamp duty by 1%, which I think was just an insane decision. So you just can't predict. I mean, I do make predictions on YouTube, and I say I think I make predictions, and often I am right, but sometimes you just cannot. You just cannot predict what on earth they're going to do because
That's better, actually. Yeah, that's
know.
better. Yeah. No, I think they'll have to extend it. We've had a couple of government ministers sort of come out and say we don't have any plans for extension. Okay, but I think you've got the Council of Mortgage Lenders sort of pushing and saying, look, you need to do something about this. There's going to be a bottleneck. There's going to be an issue. You've obviously got the solicitor side of things, the law society side of things. Those guys are sort of making their voices heard, saying, look, this is going to be a problem. There's going to be complaints. There's potentially, I mean, you've got Zoopla that came out and said around 50% of the people that are looking to buy in January may lose out on the stamp duty holiday because of all the backlog. So it will be, I think there will be madness for them not to extend it, but you never know with this stuff. But I do believe if they are going to extend it, they probably will not come out and tell us this right now. Because what will happen is, as soon as you extend it, a lot of deals are going to fall out of the deal, because a lot of people have been pushing to buy before the holidays, so they'll just put the brakes on. So I think the government may hold out and come out with the news a little bit closer to the deadline. And about a year ago, I saw your stuff, and I was certainly influenced by a lot of people actually. And I started setting up a YouTube channel, and it's just hit 3,000 subscribers.
Congratulations.
So yeah, I mean, you've got to start somewhere, and I think you're right. You've got to be consistent, I think, with a lot of this stuff. And obviously, I see your stuff, and you're very consistent. I mean, almost on a daily basis, religiously, you're putting out the message there. So, and at first, I was a bit dubious, to be fair. I saw your stuff, and I wasn't quite sure, and I was like, I don't know this guy. I don't know what he's talking about. I was speaking to other people, and you the more you watch, the more you learn, and the more you observe about other people. So I was really glad, because you've got such a large presence on the web. Basically, you've got, I don't know, 180,000 subscribers on one of your channels, and you've got such a big open forum. And I was really pleased that you did take out the time to actually give me a little bit of time. And that shows the character that you have got. That at 7:30 in the evening, you're willing to have this discussion with me. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, sure. It's always good to to collaborate and to see what other people are doing. And I saw your channel, and I can see that you are a professional and know what you're talking about. So no, it's a pleasure. And I put out a video every single day. I've been doing so for a long time now. I started my YouTube channel about 4 or 5 years ago. Bought my first property just after the crash, 2009. I bought my first house, and kind of just snowballed from there. So I've been I've been buying properties quite aggressively, really, for the last sort of 10, 11, 12 years. Set up my training company in 2016, and that really took off. I think I just think that, I mean, my training programs that I run are quite, like, I don't have PowerPoint presentations or anything. It's literally I get my computer up, and I just say, someone give me an area, and someone will give me, and then I'll go, right, I'm going to try and find a deal from scratch in that area. I'll call the agent, I'll stack the deal, I'll put a power team together on the spot, live. I'm not saying I'm going to do it the best, I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but I want to show you the system. So that's kind of how I run it. And then I do it live, and then I get them to do it, and it's very kind of like practical. So not everybody likes me. I've got my fair share.
You're always going to be a target of whatever. We're on the web. You put yourself out there, and you're always going to get. I mean, I've seen some of your stuff that you've had bust ups with various people, but at the end of the day, you've got negative energy everywhere. Everyone will get it. But what I would say is, there's no doubt. Whatever you can say, there's no doubt that you have. Certainly brought property to a lot of people that wouldn't necessarily have got into it.
Yeah. Without a doubt. And I have a lot of.
No one's going to be. You can't say you're the best. I can't say I'm the best broker out there. Okay, I'm certainly not. Okay, but what I would say, and what I would say is, all you can do is try to do your best and try to be as honest as you can. And there will be some people that will embrace that and like it, and there will be other people that will say no. It's not your thing. And I suppose, but what I will say is, there's 180,000 people, obviously, who have said, yeah, actually, we want to listen to this guy a little bit more.
No, yeah, I've got a lot of followers, and I think I document pretty much everything I do as well. So when I'm investing in a property, I'll document it, start to finish, and show people what I'm doing. So I've recently, I've just built 6 houses from scratch. Which I documented. I've got my castle that I bought a couple of years ago, which I'm renovating, which I'm documenting.
I saw that. There's lots of nice surprises. I saw your video on that one. Japanese knotweed and bits and pieces.
It's a wreck.
But you get that. You get that all the time. But it's I've been watching your videos, and it's interesting, the ups and downs of being a property. It's not all. It's not all millionaire stuff, and I made 100K on this, on 200K. Sometimes you take losses, and
Yeah,
that's the way it's got to be.
It's a business. It's a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, to be honest with you, where do you? I mean, right now we're in a bit of a funny place. Obviously, your training program, I saw that you've put it online, and that's working. One thing I will say, Samuel, that I was really is quite refreshing, right? I joined just about a month ago, not long ago. I joined your Facebook group. Okay, so I found you, and what's quite good is you have a lot of people there, whether they're new, whether they're experienced, whether they're professionals who are trying to get business. There's different sort of walks of life in that group. But what I was quite impressed with was the amount of knowledge people are sharing within that community. So it's a little community, and it's not hard sell community. It's almost like someone will come and say, I've got a deal here, what do you think, guys? And someone will say, well, you should get an electrician to look at it. It's quite nice for that. And that's a very and I don't think you talk about that enough in regards to the community that you've got there within that Facebook environment. I thought it was very, very good.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, we've got a massive, really nice community on Facebook, on Instagram. We've got our paid membership site, which is really busy, and that's really good. And I think that, one of the things that I think I'm quite passionate about in this industry is that, watching your channel, you're very much about the the facts and the numbers and the figures and the details. That's your background. One of the things that I think I bring to the table in the community is the fact that I believe that property is a people business, and and I say this a lot, and it used to really confuse me when I was starting out in property, and landlords would say, oh, bloody tenants, or oh, I'm allergic to tenants. I'm thinking, well, they're the people that are bringing your income in. So the way I see things is that your tenants are your customers, and your house is your product. And if you're packaging and selling deals, you're getting money from investors. In fact, property doesn't actually give anyone any money. It's actually the people. Property is a vehicle. Property is such a massive, diverse topic. With yes, you need to be good with numbers, but you also need to be good with people. And if you want to really fly. So our training programs, we teach people about the numbers and how to crunch your numbers and work out all your due diligence. But also, I think it's mindset. It's about taking action. It's about implementing what you learn. It's about being able to deal with people, communicate, problem solve. So there's a lot to it to becoming successful in property, which is what I show people and teach, and I get results. I get results, and the reason I'm able to grow is because I hardly advertise, but it's because my students just keep coming through, and every week I have winners on a Wednesday. I'll interview people, and so it's just, for me, it's really fun, and I really like it, and it's given me a lot of opportunities to work with great people. So I really enjoy doing what I'm doing, and as I say, I'm not like everybody. I had a tough year this year because I had a lot of bad press. I had a lot of bad publicity.
The reality is, everyone's had a tough year, and our business. Okay, so you would have thought we've been very busy for the last couple of months. Okay, fantastic, really good. However, pre couple of months ago, because of the Brexit situation and because of the uncertainty, the market was really up and down. So when you look at us and you think, okay, well, we've had a very decent sort of towards the back of the year because of all the tax changes, but the beginning of the year was an absolute nightmare for us because of all the changes. So, and every business is going through it. We were lucky enough. We've been lucky because we could work remotely. Our business hasn't been affected too much because we haven't been to the office, for example. The office that we've got, we haven't been to the office since, March.
Yeah, that doesn't help. So that doesn't help with as a property investor. It doesn't help with the speed of things when you're trying to get things over the line fast, because it'll be like, oh, everyone's working from home. You can't just go into the office. It does slow things down. It's been great for us in some regards because I think commercial. One of the reasons commercial properties are dropping in value is because of that exact reason, because people aren't renting offices anymore. So. Commercial properties are dropping, but yeah, it's a really interesting year. I don't think we'll ever go back to the same as it was. I think that unless you're adapting and pivoting a lot. And I know that's a really overused word at the moment, but it's really, really true. I mean, we had 43 people in an office, central London in Marylebone. You know, I was going back and forth I live in Beaconsfield. I was going back and forth to Marylebone on the train every day. We had a nice little setup. And just now it's just changed. And I don't think we'll ever go back to what we had. I think it will be better but just different. So it's been a very, very interesting year. But some people are so freaking out because they keep seeming to push back the lockdown. My attitude is I didn't live through it, but if we can get through World War I and World War II, we can definitely get through this current crisis.
No, we definitely will get through it. But it'll be interesting to see how everything changes. For example, you mentioned on commercial, obviously with all the promoted development changes, okay, that's an area where property investors are potentially looking at to get value, real value. I've certainly seen a lot more. Now, what I would say is niche advice. We're a traditional mortgage broker. We typically have only really over the last few years, we've only really dealt with the more residential and buy-to-let and portfolio landlord stuff. Obviously, we do the bridging stuff, but we've been doing more and more commercially sort of minded deals now. So whether it's full-blown commercial deals, development stuff, ground-up development, but also we're now getting a lot more conversion stuff. So buying a shop, 2 flats on top, whether they're going to keep the shop or now, more and more, it's converting the whole thing. So the 2 residentials will stay as it is, converting the flat downstairs into a residential property. So I'm seeing a lot more of that going on because as people start looking for value, the difficulty with that is a lot of those type of deals, where they fall through is because the commercial element has got other commercial elements on the road. So although you can get the planning permission, the lending is very difficult. So to actually lend on those, if it's let's just say it's a block, okay, and it's got a shop next door to it, but it's you've converted that into a residential property now. You've got your bridging finance, so you're all fine. You probably get it on bridging, but to get that exited out on a residential buy-to-let deal or a residential home is very hard because the lenders will not do it because everything's too soon right now. All the traditional lenders will say there's too many commercials around it, there's a pub opposite it, or there's a restaurant next door to it, and they're turning those type of deals down. So it'll be interesting to see if the lenders will evolve with their views.
I think they will. I think at the moment there's so much change that's going on, and lenders are wary, aren't they? They're just a bit unsure about what's happening, and when they're wary, then they're more restricted as to what they'll do and what they'll agree on and how much they'll lend. I mean, ultimately, the permitted development changes are. I do definitely think that the government. I don't know if you saw. Did you see the government announcement on the 16th of December where they said that they're going to be putting 100 million funding towards helping developers and house builders with brownfield sites. It's just it's quite big. You should definitely check that out.
Is that job for mates or is that actual genuine sort of your smaller guys getting that help? I think that will be the fundamental difference.
The thing is though, even if it's helping the big guys and not the small guys, is that what you said?
Yeah.
My thoughts are there's only so much. So we're searching for land constantly to develop on. There's only so much land available. If the big boys are snatching everything up at the moment, if the government give 100 million to help turn brownfield sites and it helps developers, even if it helps the big boys, that's fine. Let them take all those big brownfield sites and then at least it frees up more. If it gives more land, it's going to help. I think it will help everybody that's in the development space. And I can definitely see that the government are making a massive effort to help developers. They're trying to.
The reality is the government really doesn't want your 1 or 2 buy-to-let landlords.
No, not
they don't want it. So they're trying, through taxation and through various rules, they're trying to weed that sort of stock out. But unfortunately, it's had an opposite effect because what you've had is you've got the stamp duty holiday, which can be used. So what I'm seeing a lot of is applicants keeping their flat, want to buy a house, but they'll keep that flat, okay, or keep that property they're in. They'll keep it as a buy-to-let. They'll convert that into a buy-to-let and then buy another one. So what you are having with these taxation changes, or better yet, I'm doing a lot more where they're selling their existing property to a limited company and then going buy a residential property.
Yeah.
Okay, that stock is being kept rather than being sold off. Now, I think what's gonna probably affect all of this is if the government comes in and makes tweaks to the capital gains tax, because then your average 1 or 2 man landlord who is just, I'm just going to keep that property, I think then they potentially have to think about it. Either they have to scale up and become, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buy-to-lets, or they may just say, do you know what, it might be too much, we might have to get rid of it. So it'll be interesting, but there's no doubt in my mind the government really doesn't really like under 2 or 3 sort of buy-to-let. They don't like it. They want people to go into a limited company. Well, I wouldn't say they want people to go into a limited company, but I would say they would want more of the portfolio professional landlords.
Yeah, but when they're talking about capital gains tax, it could be a little bit of scaremongering just to try and get people to sell, because they want people to sell their properties right now. So you never know what the agenda is. There's so much nonsense going around in the newspapers, and it's so transparent. I can see right through a lot of it. There was some estate agents in Liverpool, and they was talking about how sell your houses now. There's about to be a big crash. Quick! Everyone sell your house now. And it's like, no, the Liverpool estate agents want more stock, because when they get a house, it sells like that, and they just need more stock. So they're feeding a bullshit story to the newspapers because they want more stock. The newspapers are just buying it, and it's just a nonsense story. House prices are not about to crash in Liverpool. It's possible, but I just can't see it for a minute. So I just think, are they going to double capital gains tax? Well, do you know what? I don't even care, because I'm not planning on buying and selling. I'll just refinance anyway. I'm not really too concerned about the capital gains tax. My strategy is to not buy and sell.
Well, one thing's for sure. Even looking back at the last crash, because I was in the middle of it. We worked in a mortgage company. It was absolute mad. In 2007, I think that mortgage company, this company called Mortgage Time, did 7 billion in mortgages. Yeah. Okay, so we were responsible for 7 billion of transactions. So it was a large entity, and I know what it was like. But what I will say is, in the last crash, Gordon Brown was the chancellor, just came out pretty much blatantly and said, I'm not going to let the housing market go. So I will do whatever it takes, but I'm not going to let the housing market go pop. Okay? And to be fair to them, they didn't. And that's why you had a lot of people that did the self-certification mortgages, that were getting the interest-only self-set mortgages, but they actually did really well out of it, because they were buying 10, 15 properties. And those properties now, 20 years later or 15 years later, have actually gone immensely, hugely up in value. Yeah. So they did actually really well out of it, of the last crash. And I just think you've got to take it with a pinch of salt, because the government, people forget, and I saw a video on, I think we're coming around the same way on this. The government has got some skin in the game. The government is responsible for Help to Buy. So they've got hundreds of thousands of people who they have backed financially to be able to purchase a home, but also they've got some skin in the game to keep those homes. Okay? So you got all of this, you got 400,000 people that are on Help to Buy that essentially couldn't buy the property themselves. So the government had to come in with some sort of a loan agreement in terms of backing the lenders. So if the property prices are going to go down, or a crash as such, all of those people are going to be sort of looking at the government too.
Yeah.
So right. I actually believe that whatever happens, the UK economy, the government, whether they can or they can't, they will do their best to try to support the housing market. And we've seen that with the tax changes.
Yeah. Have you seen my controversial videos on Help to Buy?
I don't like them. I've been in, and I saw one of yours, and you just basically said you didn't like the Help to Buy concept I did like an 8-minute video, absolutely ripping into the Help to Buy scheme, and it got mate, some of my videos have been removed. Like literally, YouTube has removed them. No, the Help to Buy one is interesting, because I have got clients. I do Help to Buy, okay? I've got clients that genuinely Help to Buy has helped them, because they're on good salaries, really big salaries. However, they just don't have the deposit. I'll give you an example. Perfect example is a lot of foreign national IT consultants and people like that have got really good, well-paying jobs, okay? Or IT consultants here that have got well-paid, but they just don't have the deposits to buy in London. That works in a way, Okay, I'm not a big fan of Help to Buy flats at all. New build flats, I'm not a big fan of in regards to Help to Buys, but it's helped some. So I did a video, and some of my friends and some of the comments underneath it is like, it's rich of you saying, why don't you, don't go and buy a property. You sit in your own house and you're telling us not to go and buy a property. And I'm saying, I'm not about that. I just don't like the concept of it.
Yeah, I mean, what I'd say is, because Help to Buy usually means you have to buy a new build property. And I mean, I sell new build properties, and I know how it works. And as soon as you buy it, it loses value. So to buy a new build and to become highly leveraged on a brand new build, which is a liability because it's not making you any money because you've got to live in it. It's riddled with risk. And listen, I'm not saying it's it's never a good idea for anyone to ever do it. But just have your eyes open and be careful. That's basically.
It's got areas. It's got development to development, what type of block, what type of area. But you're absolutely right. Because the developers essentially know that the client is going to get a 20% or 40% loan. And it's a loan. It's not a grant. It's a loan.
Yeah.
What are they doing? They've just bumped their prices up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I say I call it help to sell. It's a help to sell scheme.
Yes, absolutely.
It's great for me, the developer.
The share prices. So if you look at the share prices of some of the biggest house builders, where they were before Help to Buy and where they are now, it just paints its own picture, really.
Yeah.
But no, that's useful. I think we're coming from the same angle on that one. How are you finding at the moment? Obviously, you deal with a lot of newly sort of people coming into the property market.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say that, Samuel, I would say one thing. For all those people that come to your courses, there's probably 100 that don't, or 1,000 that don't. And unfortunately, what happens, a lot of those guys end up phoning people like me. They've got no experience. They've got no sort of way of doing something. They've just seen something on the internet, and they'll come back to us and, I want to buy a buy-to-let property. Well, do you own anything? Well, no, not at the moment. Okay, what's your income? Oh, I'm not really earning anything, and I don't know. Have you got any deposit? Well, not really. Have you got anybody else that can come in with you? Not really. So there's a lot of, now you've got that message out there that you can generally make money out of property. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are saying, well, skip Samuel's or anyone else's training. Let me go direct to the brokers and I can probably get the deal.
You know what? It's another thing I'm really, really passionate about. Look, if you're going to be a professional anything, if you're going to be a professional golfer, hairdresser, doctor, lawyer, solicitor, anything, you need to go through professional training. And if you don't, you're going to get blown flat. And property is arguably the most lucrative profession on the planet. And if you want to make it as a property investor or a property entrepreneur, you need to get training. Now, I'm not saying you need to spend tens of thousands of pounds on training, but you need to at least dedicate some time to learning your craft before you just start blindly having a bash. If you have a bash, you're going to have a crash. So I think it's really important for people to speak to brokers and accountants and solicitors and get professional advice. I just think it's really important to spend a little bit of time actually thinking about what your goals are, how property is going to be able to serve you and help you in your business, and what your plan is. Do your market research, figure out the supply and demand, work out what your strategy is, understand what different strategies are available to you. If you come to my free event, yes, I'm going to sell. And I'm going to sell with passion.
That's there for. Come on, everyone knows. Nothing in this world, unfortunately, is fully free. You've got to Google. Google is not fully free. You are the information. Okay, you are the product with Google. With YouTube, you are the product. Okay.
Yeah.
So nothing is free. There is always a product at the end of it. Now, whatever that product is, however that's positioned to you, that's a different argument. But if you're going to put your time and you're going to go with everything. So for me, if I'm doing the videos, I'm doing YouTube videos, okay? YouTube videos, why am I doing it? Well, I'm doing it ultimately to give the information out, and out of, say, 20,000 people that view it a month, some of them will say, well, actually, this guy's a nice guy. If next time I get a mortgage, I want to deal with him.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. That's what I'm doing. So that's why I'm putting the video out there at the end of the day. I want to get the information out there. I think it's useful. However, at the end of the day, my underlining tone is give me a call.
Yeah, you know what though? It'll be like getting annoyed with someone for giving you a little bit of pizza when you walk past the pizza shop oh, would you like a bit of pizza? And then you go, oh, thank you, and you eat it. And then you go, hang on a minute, you're just trying to give me a taste to get me to go and eat pizza. It's like
exactly.
It's like what?
That's what it is, and I think most people will accept that. You know, with anything we do, you know, we're trying to grow a business. We're trying to live our lives. We're trying to share the information that we've gained at the end of the day. So the information, you know, for example, the next person that wants to buy a castle, okay, and picks the phone up to you and says, Samuel, I'm thinking of buying a castle, you'd probably be able to give them a lot of information about some of the things that you personally didn't know about or learned over that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've seen videos. I mean, I've seen you've promoted other mortgage brokers. You sat down with, I think it was a young chap you sat down with. I've seen that you sit down with bridging experts and various...
Many brokers, because I think, you know what, the whole way I live my life and run my business is very much hands open, kind of. I'm very hands open. I'm not, you know, closed off or say, this is, you know, I have other property trainers on my channel, and I'll chat with them and share, and my YouTube channel is all about adding value to the audience. I don't just see it as like a marketing funnel. It's just to give value and to, you know, provide content for people. And I know that if I keep doing that, you know, you reap what you sow. So I'll be very happy to do stuff with you, for instance. I wouldn't be thinking just because I've got a mortgage firm that I've got a joint venture in, I'm closed off to promoting or giving any exposure to any brokers.
For everybody. At the end of the day, it's plenty of business for everybody. You're more than welcome to ever come around for a coffee, mate. It's just round the corner. You are literally round the corner from us. So I'm happy to meet you whenever you got some time. I know you're a busy man, but you know, it's always good to have a chat and just see what other people are doing and how you're getting on.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Well, yeah, I'm sure we could, you know, benefit, you know, each other's businesses and stuff. I'd be very, very happy to do stuff. You know, a lot. And again, for me, by the way, just for the record, I know I've got quite a big, in terms of our niche, because we've got a very niche kind of topic, investment channels. And I know I've got quite a big channel, but on a personal level, I'm never concerned about numbers and stuff. Like, I'm really not concerned about numbers. I'm more concerned just about who I'm collabing with, what value they bring, you know, what their knowledge and their values, you know, that's the kind of thing. I've collabed with people that have got 100 subscribers, and I've collabed with people that have got millions of subscribers.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not really too.
No, I really appreciate that. That's what it is. You know, whether we use any of this content stuff, whether we don't, it doesn't really matter. I just thought, I started off as someone that watched you, and I was very dubious, I have to say, right? I was like, I'm not sure about this guy. I'm not sure. Is he just a charlatan? Is he just... And then I was reading some other videos. I watched other people. Before I actually got to watch your videos, I was watching other videos. And there was a lot of, say in the last year and a half, there's a lot of bad blood between them. So I thought, well, you carried on. I mean, I carried on watching a lot of your stuff. And then I thought, well, do you know what? This guy's actually, you know, he's trying to do his thing. You know, at the end of the day, he's getting attacked for whatever, but he's trying to do his thing. Is his thing useful to others? At the end of the day, put everything else aside, put the politics aside, put everything. Is it useful to the average Joe? And I thought, yeah, it is. Of course it is. And can I, is he someone that I like to talk to and get his opinion from? Yes, it was. So, and that's what I wanted to do, really. And I'm really pleased we had this chat, because you've come across as a, you know, as what you are on that video. So, and it's someone that, you know, I'm glad to say that I know now.
Oh, thanks, Payam. Well, I appreciate that.
I noticed, by the way, you've started moving towards Facebook than YouTube, because I saw that you were worried about them taking something of your videos down or something.
Yeah, they kept removing stuff. They kept taking down videos. I did an interview with Grant Cardone. I interviewed my dad. To be fair, my dad's interview was a little bit,
Why would they take? I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you've got kids and stuff. Why were they taking your stuff down?
So it was when we were talking about the pandemic and the potential government agenda behind it, and they just did not take kindly to that at all. I just ripped it from YouTube, threatened to permanently delete my channel.
That's a big platform for you. That's a big part of your business. If YouTube sort of tomorrow says "see you later,"
I'm not bothered. I'm not really that bothered. If YouTube remove my channel, I just set up another channel and people will come and follow. My audience know
Yeah.
who I am, they know where I'm at. So I'm not
Yeah.
really that bothered,
Yeah.
to be honest. You know what? Let me just keep talking about what I know, which is property investment and how to make money and how to deal with people. And so, yeah, but it was a bit of a. It's not good that they're silencing people and not letting people have a voice on these topics, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. Listen, yeah, well, that sounds. I hope I don't get one of those strikes. That's what I would say. But listen, thank you so much, Samuel. Really, really appreciate you taking the time. It's been really, really good.
Thanks.
And hopefully I'll get when all this dies down a little bit. You're only around the corner. Whether we meet at yours, whether we meet at mine, or whether we meet somewhere in the middle,
Yeah.
it'd be really good.
I
don't know if you. I don't know if your personal trainer will allow you to have a pint. But it
Yeah,
might
for
be good
sure.
to have a
100%.
quick pint.
Yeah, that'd be great. Hey, thanks, Payam. Great to meet you. Appreciate your time and all the best of your channel. Keep up the great work. Supporting
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.